Granniopteryx, granniopteryx. She knows the truth, she's linking every link.
Well, this is amusing, isn't it? Jeremy Corbyn, true to form, was performing at the Nakba March last weekend at the same time as the Cup final was being played, and there was a Tommy Robinson Unite the Kingdom rally going on, strictly divided on the other side of town, sort of. Right, so first of all, let's mention the Cup final in which Arsenal finally beat Manchester United. I'm sure that gave some comfort to our illustrious Prime Minister when the London team beat the Manchester team. Maybe he's hoping that that's an omen for the future, but I'll leave that on one side and we'll get on with Jeremy Corbyn's speech. I'm not doing the whole thing, because it's 5 minutes and 20 seconds that you will never get back. But there are some interesting points here in his rousing finale, and I thought I'd just go through it with you.
Who came up to me at the start of this march today and accused us of running a march which is damaging to community relations around London. I pointed out that this is a march of unity, it's a march of love, it's a march of all faiths, it's a march of all religions, it's a march of people from all over the country.
Well, it's a march of all religions and all faiths, just so long as they have one particular faith in common, and that's a complete hatred of Israel. And if you want to have a side order of hatred of Jews as well, that's sort of acceptable. But, yeah, okay.
And to the billionaire-funded march that's now going...
The billionaire funded. This is from a guy who's accepted, bucket loads of money from Iran, and the march is most likely being financed by Qatar, or where we're not talking about billions, but trillions, probably.
Down Whitehall with Tommy Robinson and his mates. I simply say...
You notice how he says Tommy Robinson and his mates. Let's get this straight. He wasn't saying Tommy Robinson and his friends or his colleagues or even his fellow travellers. I mean, that should have been his particular form of expression. No, it was his mates, and that's because that's a working class expression. When you have mates, it's sort of working class. And if there's one thing that this guy and all his fellow travellers really do despise, it's the working class, of course. So Tommy Robinson and his mates just pigeonholes them really instantly. You don't have to say anything else. You know that song in My Fair Lady where Professor Higgins says an Englishman has just got to open his mouth and say something for another Englishman to despise him. Okay, you've got that illustrated very well here.
This to people that have illusions in that kind of message. Your message of hate, your message of abuse to refugees, to asylum seekers, to human beings who are suffering the most grotesque injustice. Right.
Let's talk about abuse. We know that. Hang on a minute. I have a chart here. I just downloaded it this morning. Hang on. Here we are. I promise you, I hadn't thought of this when I started playing the Jeremy Corbyn speech. But let's have a look at the richness and diversity that has been brought to the country of Denmark. It's apparently Denmark is the only country that's actually done a study of this. Okay, so crime overrepresentation by country of origin. I have no reason to doubt this chart, but it might be a complete fabrication. If somebody discovers that it is, you can let me know. Okay, so rape, etc. I don't know what they mean by etc. The mind boggles, but there you are. Okay, so top of the list is Somalia. After that, Syria, Palestine, Afghanistan, Iraq, and there's Denmark down there. Okay, assault against a public servant. I suppose that could be anything from the guy at the job centre to a policeman in, a fracas in the street. Again, Somalia, Palestine. Oh, that's moved up a notch there. Tunisia, Uganda, Ethiopia, and there's Denmark down there. Attempted homicide. Right, Somalia, Morocco, Palestine, Iraq. Oh, Morocco and Palestine are about even Stevens there, aren't they? Iraq, Pakistan, and Denmark, right down there. Yeah, now that's interesting. Ex-Yugoslavia is showing up here. Yugoslavia, or ex-Yugoslavia, rightly, has started to crop up in blackmail, burglary, fraud. That's interesting. They seem to be more white-collar criminals than the usual, and shoplifting and theft. Okay. And I just wonder, they say ex-Yugoslavia. Of course, Yugoslavia consists, ex-Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia consisted of a mixture of Christians and Muslims, and they're not really specifying which particular group or if it's both altogether. Anyway, if you notice, all these refugees and immigrants. Look, here Myanmar comes up just the once for groping. Oh dear. Now, Syria comes tops in groping, but not in rape. Syria's strictly second place in rape. So it looks like if you're a Somali, you're not going to just grope. You're either going to go for they're down here. Yeah, you're more likely to go for the full Monty rather than just a bit of a feel. Robbery, Somalia. Look, you can sort of understand why Somalia is figuring up like this, because Somalia is a war-torn country that the only people who survive, you know how sharks breed. Generally speaking, a female shark has 2 sharks in utero, and one shark eats the other. The surviving shark is the one that's born. That is the most vicious. And that's what happens in war as well. The nice guys finish last, and that usually means dead. And the people who come out of a country like Somalia, they are survivors in the most vicious sorts of jungle human jungle you could possibly imagine. All right, so you can understand why that's happening. I'm not excusing it by any means. As a matter of fact, it's obvious you shouldn't take people like this. There will be some who will be perfectly nice people, but it doesn't look like many of them are getting through to Europe, does it? Okay, let's carry on with Jeremy Corbyn.
In the world, those people tomorrow will be our neighbours, they'll be our friends, they'll be our doctors.
Yeah, they're going to be everything marvellous, these Somalis and Syrians, aren't they?
They'll be our teachers, they'll be our train drivers, they will be part of our community. And I say to those in Reform and the far right that do so much to attack us.
Reform and the far right, so they're in the same basket. I don't know what it's with. Basically, when I was younger, I was a socialist, generally speaking. I wouldn't have called myself one, but when I look back at my political opinions, they were sort of socialist. But I suppose being a socialist means you have a particular personality that stops you from learning from history. Because this guy is, well past middle age now, and he still hasn't learnt from history.
All that attack our communities. Your hatred can succeed in dividing people, but your hatred will not build one council house, will not improve.
Your hatred won't build one council house. Well, neither will any of those Somalis, Syrians, Palestinians or Afghanis, I'm afraid. And most of them just seem to live in council houses. They don't seem to actually be building any.
Improve one hospital, will not teach one child, will not end somebody's homeless life on the streets of London.
I won't help anyone homeless on the streets of London because they have taken the place that the homeless might have got from the council, which is so busy housing migrants. Veterans just don't get a look in. And I was once talking to a veteran. I told you about it in a previous video. Oh, excuse me. Hello? Okay, bye. Bye-bye. Right, I've got computer trouble. The computer man just rang me. I'll try and finish this before he gets here. Where was I? Yeah, I said I spoke to a veteran who was just homeless, and I was talking to him in a train station in Glasgow, and he was getting no help from anyone. And it broke my heart. He told me, tell people about me. So, yeah, I made a video telling you about him. But just quickly, he was so proud of being a British soldier. And now he was just a drunkard out in the sort of taking shelter in Glasgow Central Station.
That can change that is a change of economic, social and international policy. That's what brings us together. That's why we're united for Palestine, for anti-racism and for peace around the world. Thank you very much.
Right. And you know what? When he started building up there, I thought of something else. I'm not saying he is and I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying, I don't know, it reminded me.
Du meine Arbeit für richtig hältst, ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet habe, dass ich mich in diesen Jahren für dich eingesetzt habe.
I'll just go through that final bit of Jeremy Corbyn again, and you tell me if you think it sounds the same.
It's a change of economic, social and international policy. That's what brings us together. That's why we're united for Palestine, for anti-racism and for peace around the world. Thank you very much.
Right, well, that's all I have to say about Jeremy Corbyn and his doctors, scientists and train drivers. Till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.